I've been making bad decisions, pen and padded, test suspicious, stab the rhythm, mad precision, spit it dope, I rap addictions, no rehab, I jab my lyrics in my veins, I PED like rap Olympics. I'm a G, test me, go pro, I'm in the first, check my FPV, rolling up like yoga mats on my PFV, no salsa, better dip if you step to me, I keep it fuego, rich chili, habanero, ya te sabes, yo no juego.
Wrist fuego and I'm hollering so they know I be cutting other tags, don't give a fuck about a label, not afraid of going cray, I be stunning to the grave.
Whoever sees this and subscribes right now will get a free suitcase. We're going worldwide today. Stay tuned. What's going on, YouTube? It's Knox Hill, and we're back with our reaction series. So today, I just want to make an apology to those of you who have watched some of my UK reactions, because it has been a little while and I haven't been showing love. But I read my comment section and I'm well aware of what we need to do. There is an artist that we need to shed light on and that we need to check out. I'm talking about Dave. But a quick note before we go any further, guys. If you like this song in the intro, I do a series called Battle Sessions. It's a back and forth with different MCs on this platform paying homage to the roots of hip hop. If you guys like it, I highly recommend you go check that out. The link will be below. Also, a shout out to the Discord who has recommended this song that we're going to do today. It is Question Time. It is supposed to be a heavy ride. I'm looking forward to jumping into this, but if you guys want to make recommendations, you want to get involved with the community, Discord link below as well. So anyways, Dave, Question Time. I don't really know what to expect. I've honestly never heard a Dave track before, but you know what? We're here for it. So Dave, step up to the plate. Let's see what you got. I love how we open this up, because Question Time in the UK is a show where basically they go around to different parts of the country, and that's when the public, it's like a public forum, and the politicians from the different parties are there. Like they pick different politicians each week, and then they might pick like someone who runs the news station, or someone who is the editor of a local publication, or just, you know, various individuals who contribute to politics or who have a good outlook on politics. And basically the public gets up and asks different questions. It's called Question Time. So it's a great way to hold politicians accountable for what they do. So Dave has titled this Question Time, and he's pushing the camera as if he's getting set up for his own question time. That's super dope.
Question for the new Prime Minister. How do you have a heart so sinister? How are we so wasteful when people are dying in Somalia, Afghanistan, Egypt, Libya? The irony is we have no business in Syria, but kids are getting killed for all the business in Syria. And then they try and tell you...
Wow. I love that flip on the business. The irony is we have no business in Syria, but all of our kids are getting killed for the business in Syria. And how old is this? 2017. So the prime minister he's addressing these questions to is Theresa May then. Or is it Cameron? October. It's either Cameron or May.
Have no business in Syria, but kids are getting killed for all the business in Syria. And then they try and tell you that it's ISIS. In their attempts at killing it, how many civilians died? So what's the difference between us and them? When you got drones killing kids just touching 10. Then when a bomb goes off, every politician's lost like that last strike. It didn't kill 100 men.
Wow.
You ain't the same as them.
You got bombs killing kids that are touching 10. I mean, it's not like we got like heavy doubles and triple metaphors here. Like he's just saying some realness right now. He is just giving it to you raw, unfiltered, the questions that he has in his mind. And we talk about these wars abroad and we deal with it as Americans too. And he's asking, what are we really doing there? And why are we saying that it's ISIS and they're the enemy when we're the ones who are having all this collateral damage? When you see all the news stories where drone strikes kill civilians. Are we going after the civilians of these countries too? I mean, how come they're the enemy the second that they touch our civilians, but the second that we touch theirs, there seems to be a double standard? He's just pointing out the contradictions in it right now.
Every politician's lost like that last strike. It didn't kill 100 men. You ain't the same as them. But all that fuel for the fire is what you gave to them and what you take from them.
How true is that though? All that fuel for the fire is what you gave to them Because by doing all these things, by being over there, you think that it's going to stop creating enemies, creating people that want to come after us? It's only adding even more to the hate, to the flames of wanting to get revenge against us. We're giving them that while we're taking away their lives. Wow.
It's them, but all that fuel for the fire is what you gave to them and what you take from them.
I love this beat. It's cold, man.
All my life I know my mum's been working in.
I think what's really cool about that point right there is that it doesn't sound like there's going to be a hook to this, a chorus, right? This is just going to be him giving his discourse all the way through. And actually, we've now changed. Now he sat at the desk. So it's like different verses laid out, but he lets it breathe. He lets you process all of these heavy things that he said. He lets the track just have a moment to gather his thoughts and then redirect himself. It's cool.
All my life I know my mum's been working in and out of nursing, struggling, hurting. I just find it fucked that the government is struggling to care for a person that cares for a person. So where's the discussion on wages?
Wow. I really love those lines and that flip on words too. I just find it fucked that the government is struggling to care for a person who cares for a person. Having trouble supporting nurses, supporting doctors, supporting the hospital workers, the people who care for other people. So he's diving into the NHS now. And yeah, there is a lot of issues for England with the NHS and what is going on and it being underfunded. And that was one of the points for leaving the EU. But we'll get back to that.
Struggling to care for a person that cares for a person. So where's the discussion on wages and budgets, how they made them redundant? When I was a young'un, the letters in her car said my mum was overdraft, but somehow I still had dinner money in my pocket.
Wow.
And even the little things like ordering pizza were probably the reason for overtime in the evening. 5 till 10, 6 hours of sleeping for 22 years. My mum was doing it cleaning, dreaming that.
So basically he's saying his mom was working 2 jobs. His mom was up at 5 in the morning, grinding all the way until 10 o'clock at night. So not only was she nursing, but she was cleaning as well. Just so Dave could have simple things like money for pizza, just so he couldn't want for just basic necessities like going to school, having a little money in his pocket for food. The sacrifices that were made. And yet he's talking about his individual situation, but he's also relating it to the bigger issues of the funding for the NHS and the National Health Care Service for people.
6 hours of sleeping for 22 years. My mum was doing it cleaning, dreaming that her kids would have a better life. Going bed at night, struggling with getting by. That's the reality for millions of people in a nation where a lot of us were looking for a second try. A question for the new Prime Minister.
Wow. So I don't know his history, but it sounds like his mom was an immigrant and came from another country looking for a better life. And so many people start off here on the social economic ladder and they never really get a chance to climb, even though that this is their second try and their second chance. There's a lot of greater issues that are being addressed in a rap song. I like this.
Nation where a lot of us were looking for a second try. A question for the new Prime Minister. And please tell me if I'm being narrow-minded, but how do we spend so much money on defence and weapons to wage war when the NHS is dying, bursting at the seams? And what about them?
There it is, right there. There's his NHS commentary. How are you going to spend millions, up to billions, on defense contracts in the military, and you're not going to address the defense of people's lives on the homeland when it comes to hospitals and care workers?
And weapons to wage war when the NHS is dying, bursting at the seams. And what about them people that voted for us to leave for the money that it would see? 350 million we give to the EU every week that our health service needs. But now them politicians got what they wanted. Can you see an empty promise or a poster on the street? Nurses in tears because they're working every hour of the week and they still don't have the money that they need.
Wow, this is I wasn't ready for this dive, man. This is real heavy. So now he's talking about the 350 million. And when the referendum happened and Britain voted to leave the EU, one of the biggest campaigns and slogans that convinced people was that we're giving all this money to the European Union. We're giving over 350 million. But we could be taking that money and giving it to a struggling NHS, giving it to public works, giving it to things that we need. And now he's saying, where is that money? We've left. Where is it? Broken promises. He's just holding them accountable. And I like how you have the different like news stories going on in the background that he's pointing out, contributing to question time.
Is in tears because they're working every hour of the week and they still don't have the money that they need. You brought the heart of the nation to its knees. Underpaid, understaffed, overworked and overseen by people who can't ever understand how it feels to live life like you and me. Patients lying in the corridors because doctors can't even find a bed for them to sleep. I remember A&E and all them sickening screams of a little girl waiting for a surgeon to be seen. Privatized healthcare, guns for police, increased uni fees. Is this what they're selling us? Or let me remind you, just in case you've forgotten, that we live in Great Britain, not in Donald Trump's America.
Wow.
Speaking of America,
that's one thing about the UK is that, you know, they have public health care, whereas we have privatized. And now he's saying, now you want to make the story that we need privatized health care because the NHS is struggling. Now you want to make it about increased uni fees when, you know, we have a core belief in giving education and making it more widely available to people that they can go to university and have a better life instead of American kids who are just drowning in endless college debt. So you want to make us like America now.
just in case you've forgotten that we live in Great Britain, not in Donald Trump's America. Speaking of America, state and the president, with all due respect, I've got something to say to them. I just find it funny you can't give a hand to Palestine, but you can trade whole arms with Saudi Arabia.
Not only was that a dope punchline, that was a dope visual too, to show it off. You know, you can't give a hand to help Palestine, but you give whole arms, showing his arm, but also literally like military arms. You trade all these arms with Saudi Arabia and this nation, so you pick and choose who you want to help. And he's addressing that to Trump and to America.
Arms with Saudi Arabia.
And he's gonna let it breathe again. That's cool.
Look, I got a question for the new Prime Minister. At Grenfell Tower, your response was...
Is that Charlie Hebdo? That's that French, very satirical, very political newspaper.
Look, I got a question for the new Prime Minister. At Grenfell Tower, your...
And that's Theresa May. So he's not talking about David Cameron, he's talking about Theresa May, okay?
Look, I got a question for the new Prime Minister. At Grenfell Tower, your response was ridiculous. You hid like a coward behind your 5 million, dodged responsibility and acted like you're innocent, and I can see you're terrified.
Grenfell Tower. So that was, you know, basically like the equivalent of the projects to us and government housing in an apartment block that caught on fire. And the thing was, it came to light later that the building contractors cut corners. They didn't pay for the cladding that goes on the side of the apartment to have it fireproofed. They went for the cheap kind just to save a little bit more money. And ironically, it just became like a heat trap in a furnace to burn all the people who were in the tower. And now what he's saying is that, you know, you guys said, oh, you'll give $5 million to the victims and to their families. But who are you holding accountable for this? That is not good enough. You can't just throw money at a situation that doesn't make up for the lives lost.
Behind your 5 million, dodged responsibility and acted like you're innocent, and I can see you're terrified. You're not good at telling lies. I'm getting why you stay away from everything that's televised. You look like a robot and you don't speak with any life. It feels to me like any guy in press could have said them lines. Imagine going to the council for the safety of...
You look like a robot. Why aren't you showing emotion to these people when it was your time to step up and to unify the nation and to have a powerful message about the Grenfell Towers?
It feels to me like any guy in press could have said them lines. Imagine going to the council for the safety of your block and you got kids but they're ignoring you at every time. Everyone who knew about that cladding should really be going to prison under rule of joint enterprise. But if it ain't a...
That's what he's saying. Everybody who knew about this situation, they should be going to prison.
Kid with a knife, I bet that judge is going to prison under rule of joint enterprise. But if it ain't a little kid with a knife, I bet that judge is going easy when he's giving him time. They don't deserve to be free. Any builder MP that knew about the conditions but did it to save cheese. When I listened to
any builder or MP, so anyone involved in the construction, any politicians that knew about the situation but did it to save money, they shouldn't be going free. But I bet you if it's a little kid from those same streets, I bet you if it's a teenager who gets in trouble, gets caught with a knife, you know, you're putting him away to teach him a lesson. Again, he's pointing out contradictions and double standards that he's seeing in his society and the world around him.
things that the residents had seen, I was so shocked I couldn't even speak. Families, they know that had died in their sleep. How you choke on the smoke when you're struggling to breathe. The glow from the fire, the panic when you hear all the sirens, the crackling, the popping and the muffled out screams. The fear in the eyes of a man that was trapped who jumped 15 floors from the tower to the street. I could only hear a fraction of the pain and the grief. Closing my eyes, trying hard not to cry at the joy and relief in the face of a man when a woman from the flat said his neighbor was alive. No help from the council in keeping any list or the people that survived, his neighbors and peers. And for that whole meeting I could see that he was trying, so his smile was an island in a sea full of tears. Look, I got a message.
Dave can tell stories. This is my first time checking out Dave, but he is a great storyteller. I mean, not only is he unpacking complex issues and putting them into the art that is rap music, but he's also painting these pictures and these illustrations that just put you there, put you in the moment, and it's gruesome and it's terrible, and he wants to shock you, and he wants you to see from the eyes of the victims who were involved in this situation. Wow.
See that he was trying, so his smile was an island in a sea full of tears. Look, I got a message for our old Prime Minister, David Cameron. I mean, you fucked us, resigned and sneaked out the firing line. I wanna know how you managed it. And are you bathing in the sun while them papers have a run at the woman that you left here to handle it? You gonna teach your little lad to be the man that's got a plan, and then the moment that it fails to abandon it? Are there bullies in his...
So now he's taking shots at David Cameron because David Cameron is the one who brought about the referendum. And he thought that everyone was going to vote to remain in the EU, which, as we know, did not happen. But the second that things went south, the second that his plan soured, he resigned and he left. And he left all the problems and all the issues on Theresa May's desk. And Dave is saying, what kind of example are you setting for your citizens? What kind of example are you setting for your own children? Are you going to step up and accept responsibility, or do you shirk it? Do you run away from it when the going gets tough? Is that what the impression that you want to leave on your little boy? Those are harsh, biting words, but they're honest.
Lad to be the man that's got a plan, and then the moment that it fails to abandon it? Are there bullies in his school? And when you pick him up after class, can you feel his embarrassment? I mean, you never gave a fuck about the youth, and that's the truth. There's no sympathy for you or your cabinet. I really wish I could have seen how you were scrambling when you lost the referendum that you had to win. I feel like politicians are all addicts in a big fat game, but it's lives that you gamble with. I got a question.
That might be one of the hardest hitting lines he said so far. I feel like politicians, they're big fat addicts. They're gamblers, except they're not gambling just with money and power. They're gambling with people's lives. And he said something about David Cameron never caring about the youth. I mean, I don't know that story, but I'm guessing, the way that he sees how Cameron carried his policy was that he didn't do much for youth, especially in troubled neighborhoods and troubled environments, and giving them opportunities. He's criticizing that.
Politicians are all addicts in a big fat game, but it's lives that you gamble with. I got a question for the leader of the Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn. Where do you want to take the country to? Honestly, I want to put my trust in you, but you can understand why if I got trust issues. Do you really have the faith of your party? Do you really have faith in the party that will come with you? And how do you plan on keeping all the promises? Man, if I'm being honest, sir, I'm struggling to get with it. I just ain't getting it. Everybody's great until you get them into office, and then guys start forgetting things. Prove to us you're different. Don't promise me anything. Go and get justice for Rashawn, Charles, and Edison. And if you...
So Edison and Rashawn Charles, was it? Those have to be similar to like our situations, isn't it? Like our issues with police. I'm pretty certain that they are. That, they were killed or death via police involvement, and he's saying there's still no justice for it. Because, again, these issues are issues that he's talking about for his country, but you can take them and you can apply them and you can ask the same questions around the world. And he's talking to Jeremy Corbyn, Labour Party, right? Because the Tory party was David Cameron and Theresa May's party. So he's talking to the opposition party now, and the head of the opposition party, and saying, I want to put my trust in you because I don't like the ones who are in office currently. But it's funny because the second that I do, I've got trust issues. And you can understand why. Because the second you guys get into office, all those promises that you did to get elected, all those things that you said that you would do, they never seem to happen. So you know what? Don't promise me anything anymore. Just go out and do.
Don't promise me anything. Go and get justice for a Sean, Charles and Edison. And if you haven't had the thought to vote yet or protest because you don't really see the progress, I hope you know that what they're saying is affecting us. The small steps are way better than no steps.
Wow. I love the expression on his face too. That was really cool when the beat hit. The light was shining on him and then it just went out and it darkened. And he's got that expression on his face like, really? Like, here we go again. Bring this back. Let's appreciate this ending.
Way better than no steps.
Small steps are way better than no steps. Truth. Oh, okay. I like this beat change at the end. Wow. Wow. We've been doing this for over 6 minutes of video. That's crazy. This has honestly not felt like a 6-minute song. Pushing 7 now, aren't we? Wow. I like that. And he just leaves the station. You know, he's come on. He's televised his message. And now it's almost like it's in your hands now. What are you going to do? And again, he's giving a message to the people. Get out there and protest. Get out there and vote. Get out there and make the change that we need and the change that you want to see in this world. And like I said a little bit earlier, it's funny how, again, he's speaking on his country and the state of what he sees. But a lot of the principles and a lot of the things that he's talking about is issues that we can relate to in America, issues that can be related to in Australia, issues that can be related to across the world. I like it, man. I really like it. And it was like an open letter, wasn't it? It was an open letter to us all. And he articulated himself so well and painted such a great story, man. I really like that. I definitely want to do some more, Dave. I'm very impressed with how this man carried himself and what he just did. Dave, you are Knox Hill certified. So hope you guys liked today's video. If you did, be sure to smash that like button. Comment down below any other Dave songs you want to see me do, or if there's other UK artists or just other artists in general you want to see me check out. I try to read all of your comments, guys. I respond to as much as I can, so please keep commenting and keep posting. Also, don't forget to subscribe, notifications on, so that we can keep growing, keep building the buzz, and keep doing this. I read a stat, guys. 70% of you who watch my videos are not subscribed. If you're here at the end, if you like the content that you're seeing and what we're doing, do me a favor. Show some love and support. Hit that sub button below. Also, you might think you're subscribed, but just double check that because something might have happened. Appreciate you as always, guys. It's a one and only Knox Hill. Stay safe, stay positive, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm out.